What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Lineman Life podcast. We are here. It is the Super Bowl has been set. We have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first NFL team to ever host the Super Bowl as the home team in their home field with TB12. I hate to call that motherfucker anything other than Brady leading the way for the Bucs. And we got the Kansas City Chiefs, who are going to be coming in after 3 AFC title games straight. Patrick Mahomes, the new GOAT of all, the young GOAT versus the old GOAT. Should be an interesting game to say the least. Got my guest here, 5 Point Vids, Urinating Tree. We're going to talk Super Bowl playoff championship weekend, and we're going to look ahead to the Super Bowl. Let me just ask you guys, what do y'all think about, let's start with the Green Bay game. Green Bay, Tampa Bay. I'm not going to lie. Around halftime, I was like, fuck, this is about to be a blowout. And this is just the same shit we see from Green Bay every year when they get a chance to get over the hump. They blow it. But they came back. You know, Aaron Rodgers brought them back. There was a couple of things I didn't like that happened throughout the course of that second half. I think the biggest one, of course, everyone is talking about today is why did they kick a field goal? Or to me, the bigger question, why the fuck didn't Aaron Rodgers jog into the end zone like he would have on third down instead of throwing into double cover or throwing into a tightly covered position in the middle of the field? He could have literally jogged into the end zone off the right hash had he looked up and seen that there were no Buccaneer defenders within 10 yards of it. But what do you guys think about this game, man? You know, 5 points, you can kick it off, man. What did you think about this?
Yeah, that play, I thought he looked like he was about to take off, and then I thought I saw someone come in, and maybe he got sacked 5 times that game. Maybe he wasn't feeling having his ribs get rocked again, and he was like, all right, I'll just, throw it in and we'll see what goes from there. But, I'm not Aaron Rodgers. I don't see what he sees. The real question I had is like, why didn't they go for it on fourth down and try to get the 6 and they would have gone for that would have tied it, right? Or at least
it would have had him down by 5.
Yeah, would have had him down by 5 instead of, in a pretty rough situation where they needed a touchdown to tie. So I was like, why didn't they do that? But at the same time, their defense didn't hold. Their defense didn't get them the ball back. It was an ugly game for them. It was disappointing. They had opportunity after opportunity. And you see the brokenness in Aaron Rodgers after the game, that he is going to end up maybe just becoming the greatest quarterback that got right there every time. Like, that should have won more. He's not going to be Dan Marino. Like, Marino didn't even win one. But Aaron Rodgers' career, even if he plays 2 more years and unless he wins a championship in both of those years, will be looked at ultimately as the guy that, for whatever reason, only got 1 championship. So I was really disappointed in the Packers. I thought that they should have handled business, and they did not.
What's you, Trey?
I think mainly the final play where they got flagged, it was kind of BS because if you think about it, I mean, they never called that all game. But the real issue is 3 turnovers, 3 picks up, Brady. You only score 6 points. You can't do that. 2 of them are 3 and outs. You had your chances. You blew them. That final Hail Mary, why are you not in a prevent? Like, why are you playing man coverage where Kevin King gets burned by Scotty fucking Miller?
Yeah.
Why weren't you in a cover 2? You were in like a cover 1. You had 2 linebackers covering like a middle zone, like trying to cover for a first down in field goal range. They're not going to go for a field goal. They're going for the touchdown, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy because watching the game in the first quarter, I was surprised to see Green Bay in man coverage. You had man coverage across the board with 1 safety high, and every time you see a team try to play man coverage against Tampa Bay, Tom Brady throws a go route. He just throws it.
Yeah.
The thing with zone coverage, though, is like you do that, Tom Brady's just going to dink and dunk like he did in New England.
Hey, when he dinks and dunks, that's a 5, 7, 10 yard thing at a time. You can adjust. You can disguise to try and take away certain parts of the field. When you're man up, he knows that there's nothing behind you.
Single coverage.
Coverage against a 6'4", 6'5" wideout. One of the best, probably the best red zone receiver in the NFL. No, you're not going to win that. But the issue that really was huge to me, and Trey, you mentioned it, you got 3 turnovers. Your defense fucking came through. They came through. 3 turnovers, and on Tampa Bay side, their 3 turnovers early resulted in touchdowns. I think they got 14 points, maybe 21 points off the turnovers. I'm not sure. But I know they got 14 points off the turnovers.
Yeah, 14, I think it was.
And you get 3 turnovers in the second half. You get it back. You even the turnover battle up, which is huge in the playoffs. And you got 6 points off of that. I mean, literally 2 3-and-outs. And really that was the game there, because you could have in those 3 possessions put yourself ahead of them. You could have eaten a ton of clock, and you'd have made it a lot harder for the Buccaneers in the end. They were going to need something big from their offense, and I would rather them have to make a big play late than me to give up opportunities to get points on the board. You never want to leave points on the field, especially in the playoffs.
Yeah, what halftime score was 20-10, and the final was what? 30.
I mean, I think they gave up what, like
I think 33-28.
It was a 5-point game, 26-31.
31 so they only gave up 11 points in the second half.
I think they gave up 11 points in the second half.
So they played. The defense showed up,
and that first touchdown was from a fumble on the offensive possession.
Yeah,
it's alarming when Matt LaFleur is touted as young genius, and he made some very dumb,
very young head coach mistakes.
Yeah.
It's not like it wasn't like in that Super Bowl where Sean McVay just got ran in circles. Like Matt LaFleur was able to pull the levers that could have either ended up with his team in the Super Bowl or for the second consecutive year sitting on the couch in 2 weeks from now. So LaFleur needs to shoulder a lot of that blame. And I think Aaron Rodgers, unfortunately, they only put up 26 points against Tampa Bay. Not, I mean, a good defense, don't get me wrong, but no one talked about them all year like, oh my gosh, this is the 2000 Ravens. Like they have pieces, don't get me wrong. Shaq Barrett and JPP played a hell of a game. Losing Bakhtiari hurt a lot.
I was about to say that.
Oh, yeah. Their offensive line was under duress the whole game.
Tackles were getting eaten for lunch.
They played their asses off, man. That's why I love Championship Sunday. That was the better game. I was really disappointed in the Bills, because usually on Championship Sunday they're just hitting out there. They're hitting like Alabama LSU. They're hitting like college kids, because they're like, man, the pressure's on them. Because once you get to the Super Bowl, the pressure's off, right?
Oh yeah,
you're in the Super Bowl. No one could ever take that away from you. But man, for the Packers to not show out like that again, just really disappointing.
Yeah, it was. And this is what they wanted, right? This is what Aaron Rodgers wanted. He wanted that home game. He's playing arguably the best football he's ever played at the time. I mean, how did they find a way? How did they not figure that they were going to need to take every risk necessary to beat Tom Brady in the end? I mean, a field goal only makes the score look better, but I mean, you got to go for the touchdown.
The only way it made sense was they were trying to gamble on their defense.
They were trying to gamble on stopping Tom Brady with 4 timeouts, with the 3 timeouts and the 2 minute.
Actually, it should have been 3, but the kick returner just slid with like 2:02 left.
So he gave him 4 timeouts.
Warning.
He gave him 4 timeouts, and come on, I was hoping they could, but in my heart, I knew, look, this is not a situation Tom Brady's about to fuck up and let y'all get an opportunity to win off of.
Gotta give him credit. Unfortunately,
yeah.
You have to give Tom.
I won't call him to go to shit, but the quarterbacks. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, he did throw 3 picks, but it didn't cost him. Like, okay, if Green Bay somehow got the ball back, they march down and score, and they're marching on the Super Bowl. Tom Brady would be getting roasted into the sun right now, but he didn't. He's going to his 10th Super Bowl. So yeah. I think a lot of it comes down to whether something did work out or not. And unfortunately for the Green Bay Packers, not much worked out. Not much worked out at all.
Yeah, it just didn't work out for them when it came down to it. I feel bad for Aaron Rodgers, kind of, because now he's in a tough spot. Now he's really in a tough spot. He has another year on his contract. He's there till 2023, and I mean, dude, that's a hard climb to make again at his age. That's a tough climb to make. I'm not sure that. I'm not sure he has the heart to do it anymore.
Especially when he's been looking over at the bench and someone that could have been a defensive tackle or a backup offensive tackle is in the form of his replacement sitting there, a first-round pick, Jordan Love.
Which had Patrick Queen.
Right, which made sense to bring in. They have to plan for the future, but
not with a first-round pick.
Yeah, not with a first-round pick.
Not when they trade up.
And they were there, man. They got the number 1 seed. I remember when I was a kid, nobody came into Lambeau and won ever, right? I think Michael Vick was the first person to come into Lambeau and actually win a playoff game. And
I think they've only lost. I think now that's their 3rd total loss at Lambeau in the playoffs in their entire history.
Yeah.
I think that the Giants in 07.
And Aaron Rodgers has had those games where he just been off, right? And
he had a whole year where he was off in 2018 and 19.
I wouldn't categorize this game as off, but he wasn't Superman Aaron Rodgers that could win.
The confidence was there. I think it's just the execution. I think I didn't see the kind of urgency that I was hoping to see, and definitely in the second half. I didn't want him to panic, but I felt like at a certain point, and this is cliche as fuck for football, but at a certain point, he needs to vocally and physically, you should see his urgency start to come out at his players. Motherfuckers dropping passes. Man, I would have been in somebody's ass with those fumbles they were having early in the game. Get him off the field. Don't put him back in the game if he's fumbled twice. No.
If they don't give up that touchdown at half, though, they go into half down 13-10, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And
maybe 16-17-10, but that's really about it. They probably
if they give a field goal. But there were so many fuck-ups on that play. There was a dropped interception right before that. Tampa ends up going forward on 4th and 3. They convert that, so they played horrible defense. I think they manned up on that look, and the tight end got open. And then they give up the Hail Mary. They just blew that whole sequence. And I thought that after the dropped interception, I was like, oh, they're just going to punt right here. And nope. They turned a punt into 7 points. So credit to Bruce Arians for being – it looks like the old crafty coaches are the ones that are getting it done now. Andy Reid and Bruce Arians in the Super Bowl. Experience does matter, does it not?
It does. Y'all hear that, Jaguars?
Mm-hmm.
Fucking going to go out there and embarrass us again. Jeez. But yeah, like you said, man, it was. I will say that both games, well, especially this game, was called very well. The play calling was. I thought the play calling on offense was phenomenal. I thought there was they were attacking certain things. They were attacking areas of the field. They were, guys. They were really putting aggressive game plans together, which you don't always see, especially, when you look at what happened with Kansas City last week. A lot of people expected them to go conservative when they had Chad Henne out there, the Chad Henne, and they were aggressive. They stuck with their game plan. They kept pushing forward, and on 4th down they went for it. and it paid off. And here, I didn't like that attitude not being there when it was the Packers' opportunity to really, this is the game. Like, don't count on stopping Tom Brady. Just try and win or try and tie it now. You know what I mean?
The sequence when they got down near the goal line and they ended up taking the field goal. Those first 3 plays were deplorable.
They were all 3 and outs. I mean,
nobody was open.
In man coverage. Man coverage,
good scheming.
No slip routes underneath. I was like, "Where's the underneath guy? At least take a profit here, Aaron." And like he was just throwing balls in the back.
Swing a running back out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, you have Aaron Jones. That's all I'm gonna say.
But Aaron Jones went out, so that hurt him. But like, it's next man up. Come on, man, you prepare for this.
Next man up, got to be ready. This is for the Super
Bowl. But maybe
Bowl.
that just exposes how little depth Green Bay has. The other question I have is like, where does Aaron Rodgers go from here? Like you just said, like, does he want to make this climb again, or does he pull the Tom Brady and just is like, fuck it, I'll go to the most Super Bowl ready team I can find?
I could kind of see that. I mean, especially
with
drafting quarterback first round, running back second round that he kind of really didn't use.
Yeah,
I mean, Brett Favre did the same thing.
What's crazy
who can afford that? Who can afford it?
You could have a musical chairs in the NFC North of 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks. Maybe even all 4 quarterbacks could be on a different team next year. Kirk Cousins, Mitch Trubisky could be looking for, though I don't think so. I think for some reason they're going to keep Mitch. Aaron Rodgers could be looking for a new gig, and then Matt Stafford has already announced their divorce. Yeah. So that would be just insane for next year.
Where does Aaron Rodgers go though?
Yeah, he has an out next year.
Giants
$39 million dead cap, or a dead cap of $17 million next year. This year he has 31 in dead cap. So
I think honestly, if I'm him, I go AFC, go Patriots.
Yeah, Patriots, Colts. Maybe
bring Belichick back. Belichick back, baby.
Actually, you know what? What if Washington could use him? They need a quarterback.
Don't bring that juju on me, man.
Sexy though. That's sexy.
I mean, I think they might make a big play for Stafford.
Washington has good structure. People aren't looking at
exactly.
People
I mean, you have weapons. You have McLaurin, Sims, and Antonio.
They've got good coaches there.
Antonio Gibson, a running back. Like you've got good weapons.
You got Ron Rivera.
Washington's strong defense.
You can make Rio if you have a quarterback. Yeah, a quarterback is really what they need. They got players.
Washington played Tampa Bay better than anybody else in this playoffs. They played it better than the Packers did.
They did it with the backup quarterback for the St. Louis Battlehawks too.
Yeah.
Oh my God, didn't they? Super chat here from Vulgar Knight 297, $5 super chat. What's up, Vulgar Knight? He says, which was worse, Greg Williams cover 0 call against the Raiders, or Kevin King getting beat by Scotty Miller?
I'd say the Williams call easily.
Williams, both are absolutely disgusting. Like I just can't. They're unacceptable to me, but I guess for some reason they manned up thinking that they would go for the field goal range, just not thinking that Brady had the hoods to go.
Kevin King was supposed to be one of your better cornerbacks, so
Greg Williams calling that when there was no other option. Like, I mean, there was no time left to do anything else.
I'd
that
say
was
the
bad.
call was a lot worse.
Cover 0 is usually the wrong call in the middle of the field. Sorry.
On when you're up by 4, I'd say that's a bad call.
When you're winning, cover 0 shouldn't even be in the playbook that late in the game.
Cover 0 is reserved for like a long third down where they're just like, we'll just take, we'll just run a draw or something, or we'll just give ourselves a little room to punt this ball. You don't call cover 0 in a crucial situation.
You never do that. And the crazy people were talking about it, and we're a little off here, but I don't care. Greg Williams was my defensive coordinator in Jacksonville one year, and that's all the fuck he did. And we had the worst secondary in the league because of it. He got Drayton Florence burned on double move after double move after double move because he had no safety help.
Is he as crazy? With your interactions with him, is he as crazy as he comes off? Like
he's not a crazy cat. He's just he just has no morals when it comes to etiquette in football. Like, he does not have a moral compass that says you shouldn't be trying to like break that guy's ankle. Like, you shouldn't be using those terms in explaining to us or explaining to the defense how to handle or what to try and do. I mean, I've heard him in meetings. Like, I've heard him talk about during game plan meetings that we're gonna put our foot on their throats, put your helmet through their spine. I'm like, what? You can't do that. And
you can't say that. But it's the NFL, right?
Like, guys to do it, but you got to remember, subconsciously, those are the buzzwords that come back into a player's mind as they're preparing to play in the game, as they're getting ready for stuff. So subconsciously and not really intentionally, you become a little bit more fierce. You become a little bit more, a little bit edgier in how you handle hits. So that can affect it. That can affect players' mentalities on the field for sure. He had no morals about hurting motherfuckers. I know that. Another super chat here from Ryan Kennel, RK Outpost, $5 super chat. Super sticker there. Appreciate it.
Nice.
Super sticker.
Now that we've kind of like brushed over that, let's go over the other game, the AFC Championship.
Oh my God.
I was so disappointed in this game. I was really disappointed in it.
Buffalo just got outclassed in every way. They got just beaten. Flat out beaten.
I'll tell you something. If that happened in the first round, everyone's saying that Josh Allen hasn't developed, right? Like, they're lucky that they won 2 playoff games.
Actually, he looked rough against Baltimore.
Yeah.
He was overthrowing everybody left and right.
I think that was more the wind, but you saw his neck got a little tighter when the lights got a little brighter.
The lights came on.
Yep. And Josh Allen, good quarterback. He's going to continue. If he just continues on this growth curve, he could win a Super Bowl. He's like Eli Manning. You know what I mean? Like, Eli wasn't all that great his first 3 years. He's better. I mean, talent-wise, he's got more talent.
He's got way more athletic ability than Eli.
But then Eli eventually went on and won a Super Bowl and became Captain Clutch and won his second. And Josh Allen, I don't know if he has 2 Super Bowl wins in him, but I could see him getting to 1 or winning 1. But, man, Pat Mahomes is going to block him for a long time.
Yeah, as long as Pat Mahomes is playing at the level he plays at, I see this playing out the same way that Phillip Rivers and Tom Brady played out. You're just not going to get past him.
Yeah,
like,
or Marino and who was Jim Kelly or
Jim Kelly and Elway.
Elway and Marino. Yeah, Elway blocked Marino so much. Like, he was a cock blocking machine. He was like that one friend that you bring that just won't let you try to holler at the girl, and you're just, come on, man, I'm trying to
stop fucking cock blocking me.
Stop blocking the fat friend. You know what you do with the fat friend? You got to buy her some food, right?
Yeah.
Let me order a plate of chicken wings, and I'll
give her 20 wings. Keep her busy. No, I mean, it's crazy because. Oh, man, these guys, I mean, it's going to be a rivalry. I think we kind of can see that this teams, as long as they can keep their nucleus together, it's going to be, they're going to see each other again. But I mean, I picked Buffalo to go all the way. I thought Buffalo had their defensive presence had improved greatly in the playoffs. Like, they gave up 3 points against Baltimore. So,
just shows you how. Sorry.
I just expected a more aggressive effort against Patrick Mahomes, because we've seen teams knock him off of his game somewhat with pressure, and that's what Kansas City was doing to Buffalo. They were just bringing zero blitzes or bringing zone blitzes off the edge. They're bringing Mateo off the edge to try and to just make him look at it, even if he didn't think he was threatened by it. He looked at it. It took him off his timing. And I mean, there were some times, man, I was like, dude, throw the fucking ball away. What are you doing trying to hold on to it? Like, you're hurting your team.
Yeah, what I saw, though, is Buffalo they were firing off blitzes. It's just the linemen and the blocking running back. They were doing great and forcing everything to the outside and keeping Pat Mahomes' pocket clean. And I think JPP and Shaq Barrett could do more to disrupt that. But, man, the Kansas City offense is so OP. I mean, they just proved against
the only thing about the defense, Eric Fisher's out with a ruptured Achilles. That could hurt.
Yeah, that's a big one. That's a big. He's clearly not going to play in the game, but they've lost a lot of their linemen this year.
Devontae Tardif went to the front lines for COVID.
Yeah.
There were a couple others too, but I'm not sure.
Schwartz is still healthy, right?
I think he was out. I'm not sure.
I don't know what if it really matters because Mahomes is going to Well, I say this when a team that was missing their All-Pro tackle Bakhtari really made it obvious that him not being there hurt. But I just don't see how it affects Pat Mahomes as much because he's got weapons. He's got Edwards-Helaire back. He's got that piece of shit Le'Veon Bell back there.
Do they even use him?
They used him a little bit. Like they used him a decent bit when Helaire was injured.
No, I don't think Le'Veon's a piece of shit. I just think that Tree, that's his favorite player, isn't it?
No, it's a different guy, certain Antonio Brown character.
Both of them.
Antonio Brown's your favorite player?
Yeah, right.
Here's what's crazy. Both of them played the exact same cards from the same deck, got booted out of Pittsburgh, and are now going to face each other in the Super Bowl. Like they're almost proof that there's like no God, right?
Yeah,
I got something better than that. There are 5 former Jaguars, including 1 former Jaguar coach, who are in the Super Bowl this year. All guys who were released by Jacksonville.
Byron
cast-offs, right? Leonard Fournette got a big chip on his shoulder. He's going back to the big game. I mean, Tom Brady got a chip on his shoulder. He got, basically kicked out of New England. He wanted to stay, and he's like, fuck y'all, I'm back in the Super Bowl. And who else? Who are the Jaguars that are all?
Gabbert was one of them, I think.
Oh yeah, Yo Gabba Gabbert.
Yep, you got
Leftwich, the coordinator.
You got Fournette, Leftwich coordinator, Andy Heck, the offensive line coach. You got hold on, let me find him. I saw a post about this earlier on the Jags page, and I just laughed at it. So go figure.
TJ Yeldon?
TJ Yeldon?
No, TJ Yeldon was a Bill. He's a Bill.
But he was a Jaguar. Yeldon
was a Jaguar, yeah.
Drafted by the Jaguars.
Mm-hmm.
Jaguars don't know how to develop talent.
They do not.
Corey Pittman
they do, and then it gets cut.
They develop the talent. They don't want to pay the talent. Then they cut the talent or
They're
trade
the Pittsburgh Pirates, except instead of trading away their talent, they just cut it.
Yep.
Well, they traded some talent. They traded Ngakoue, and Ramsey.
Chad Henne, he actually got to contribute. Fournette contributed.
I forgot about Henne.
Let's see here. Oh, Chad Henne. There's another one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Chad, I think that's it. I think that's let me see here.
But you look at Kansas City, they won a game where Mahomes was out, right? So they're confident that if anything happens to Mahomes, that Henne can, God forbid, you don't but he could probably hold his own. I like the matchup for Kansas City, but in terms of what the Bills did against them, they got clowned, and it was ugly. And it was ugly.
It wasn't good. It didn't look good. It didn't feel good.
No. Not competitive at all, and they just got blown the fuck out. And that happens. A team that's playing as well as the Chiefs. They're steamrolling, man. They're ready to go all the way again. And Patty Mahomes, he wins 2. If he wins 2 Super Bowls in what, his 3rd year, 4th year,
4th or 5th year, I think.
4th year, I think. 4th year. Yeah, and he's already been to an AFC Championship game where the refs just fucked him anyways. Like, he could easily have 3 rings.
He could easily have 3 rings right now.
Yeah,
if he wins this Super Bowl, easily could have had 3.
Yep.
He's definitely. I think he's the youngest player in NFL history to be in the Super Bowl this early in his career, or youngest quarterback.
Yeah,
make it to the Super Bowl.
Well, he's the youngest to ever win it. Ben Roethlisberger he's only a couple months younger than Roethlisberger when he won it in 2005. And the only problem that the Chiefs are going to have is when it's time to, when that cap hit starts actually affecting their personnel. I mean, he's got the contract, right? He's a rich man, but they're gonna have to start finding talent on the cheap, or
a lot of cats are going to be wanting more money too. You already know it.
Their window it's open right now, but it could close rapidly. We've seen it happen.
2021, they're 18 million over the cap so far for next year.
Yeah, they're gonna have to
take a look at their free agents coming up here, because I know Sammy Watkins is going to be a free agent. He's probably gone.
Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, you can share it on the screen if you want, Tree.
I'm trying to. My internet.
I don't think you want to see. I don't think you want to see whatever's on Tree screen. Some 7chan porn or something. I also have noticed that you shaved, Tree.
Yes, I did. I did shave. I look a little less like shit. I look pasty white as fuck, but I have shaved.
Yeah, look at you with your boyish looks there.
I look like Eli Manning in this bitch.
I was just so disappointed because I was waiting for the second game and I thought the Bills would honestly win, and I was so wrong.
Oh, it was bad. It just wasn't like, it wasn't. I just didn't like it. I didn't like the game at all. I thought it was like, I mean, I like the Chiefs, but I like the Bills story more, and I feel like they had a chance to like really bring back that early 90s. I mean, they did bring back that early 90s vibe for the people, for Bills Mafia, but being back in that Super Bowl would have kind of solidified it. I think that the play calling was just really stagnant. It was predictable. They were doing things that we've seen them do. There were no new wrinkles. There was nothing that really kind of there wasn't even really much of a featuring, which I thought would have been a part of the game plan, featuring Josh Allen in as a runner more to open up their pass game. And they just didn't do that. And I think that really has to do with just an experience in that kind of environment as a play caller on offense. So that fucked them, but NFL fucks. So,
yeah, the NFL fucks.
We got a $4.99 super chat here, formerly Rod Line. He says, if Brady goes on to win the Super Bowl at his age with the new team, will it rank as one of the greatest sports achievements? Fuck no. Fuck Brady, all right? Fuck him. He picked the best, most talented fucking team in the NFL to make it an easy trip back to fucking the Super Bowl. Fuck him.
I thought Brady was done, but whatever. We have to talk about 10 straight Super Bowls. We thought we were done, but no. Nope.
We all thought this shit was over with.
No. We're getting Warriors versus Cavs NFL style. When the young, flashy Warriors in the form of the Chiefs and LeBron James in the form of Tom Brady.
We're getting the fucking LeBron Cavaliers, then the LeBron fucking Miami Heat, then the LeBron LA Lakers. And I go 2 years without seeing fucking LeBron in the finals.
No, we're going to get 48-year-old Tom Brady going back to New England to win a ring.
Oh, my God. Then he's going to go back to New England after Bucks and go back to the Super Bowl again. Him and Belichick reunite.
And then a random trip to the LA Rams to win the Super Bowl in like 56.
The funny thing is when he lost to the Giants the second time at Media Day, he was talking about this could be my last Super Bowl, so I need to enjoy it. He's had double the amount. He's had the same amount of Super Bowls since that loss, and he's won 3 of them. So he's just like, he's malignant, man. He just won't go away. And he just
because it's not like
you have to make sure it's dead. We did not make sure of that.
We didn't.
We celebrated when the Titans beat them last year. We thought, oh, thank God he's dead. And that's like, oh.
The thing with Brady, though,
the body with the sword after you knock him down.
What makes Brady so unlikable? So in 10 years, when Pat Mahomes has 8 Super Bowl rings and maybe people get sick of him, I just don't see people hating on Mahomes the way that we all
we're jealous of his insanely good looks, talent, and the fact that he's pretty much backed up every claim he's ever made. We hate him because we ain't him, and he's not on our teams.
Yeah, he's a dork.
Because let's be real, if he were a Jag, a Steeler, or a Giant, we'd be praising him right now.
I don't know, man. I ain't
gonna lie. I mean,
the rings talk, baby. Rings talk.
I I wouldn't suck him off like half the fucking media world does, but I would feel comfortable. I've never felt comfortable with the quarterbacks who were behind me in Jacksonville, other than David Garrard for a little while. Everybody else, I was just like, counting down to disaster. When are they going to fuck this up? Oh, pick. There it goes. That's what I was thinking was going to happen sooner or later. Brady, you don't think about that. And, it's just something about his entire aura of how he walks, how his face looks. Like he's it irritates me to no end. It irritates me.
Yeah, he wants to be cocky, like he wants to say, "Hey, I'm the best ever," but he's like A-Rod, he's like, "I want to also say the right things and be this person that everyone likes," which makes him more unlikable, right?
Yeah,
like it just makes him even more accessible.
Dick that I think you are, just be the dick that I think you are. Don't act like you're like you are, like you really give a damn about what anybody says or how anybody views you. Just say it.
Yeah.
We saw and I don't really care about his politics, but hell, you had a MAGA hat in your fucking locker sticking there showing for the world to see. Well, why not just speak on it? Stop trying to be quiet. That's why we don't like you.
Yeah. He always plays it close to the vest, but then he posts those videos of him and Gronk getting off the plane, and him and his little sidekick there, and it just makes you want to punch him in the face. Now, if he was my quarterback, I would love that. If I was a Brady fan,
that shit he did on the plane, I was like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" I was like, "Dude, nobody, Gronk, you caught one fucking ball." And your heart's not even in football anymore. What are you talking about?
Let me ask you something, though. Would you love to block for Tom Brady, though, and him win you 6 world championships?
Oh, I mean, of course.
Right.
I had teammates in college who all ended up in fucking New England. Rob Ninkovich, he was in New England. And every time we would play against New England, I would end up having to block him like maybe 4 or 5 times a game. And there was one time when we looked at each other and I was like, we were down like fucking 14. I was like, dude, look, none of that bullshit here. I will fucking pancake you if you try some crazy shit. I guarantee it. He fucking rushes. I hit him with my hands, and Ninkovich, he puts up like a fight for a half a second. Then he stops and is like, all good, Uche, all good. I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, motherfucker. I pushed him. I said, you motherfuckers, that arrogant shit coming out of your mouth, doing your fucking rings. Fuck you.
That's what it does, man.
Oh, my God.
It does, man.
I was like, why did I just get so mad at this cat? I played ball with this cat for years, and I'm pissed because the way he said it was like, hands off me, peasant. I'm like, what the fuck?
What's funny is I've met a few NFL players in the course of doing the sports thing, and I think the first thing that they tell you about their credentials is like whether they got to a Super Bowl or not, or won a Super Bowl. Like they're like, yeah, I played for such and such team for this many years. I was a defensive back, didn't win any Super Bowls, and like it's such a defining moment of your career that. Yeah, I guess it would be very easy to hate on somebody, especially somebody that that you're better than or would outclass. And you're walking around with 6 rings.
And you're like, how is it that my luck was to go to Jacksonville? He came out the year before me. But your luck was to go from the New Orleans Saints, win a Super Bowl, then go from the New Orleans Saints to the New England Patriots, and win 3 more. While me, I'm here in Jacksonville, just fucking withering away. My career, year after year, same fucking shit. I don't get jealous, but I'm like, God damn, I wish I could have had that luck.
Yeah, it's such a weird thing. Like Tyrod Taylor, he has a Super Bowl ring. He got, but and his luck changed pretty badly after that. So it's all such a weird thing that you end up one place and you could enjoy the success or but I don't know. Guys like me and Tree are pretty jealous that you got to play all the way at the highest level.
I mean, we sucked. We flamed out early. Like I fucking sucked. So
yeah, it was pretty clear that athletics wasn't in my future.
Athletics is far from my future. Like
16.
I could spend every waking moment trying to be an athlete, and I would get nowhere close.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, did you know any guys though? I've always wanted that just worked so hard, like they were just average athletes, but they were like from the time that they were like 10 years old, they just committed themselves to being athletes and they just kind of made it that way, or was it, or in
the NFL?
Yeah. Or is there always just
I don't know anybody who I looked at, anybody that I made it to the NFL with, or anybody that I knew that made it around the same time I did. I don't think I met anybody who I looked at him and said, you shouldn't make it to the NFL. I think everybody kind of had something about them that they excelled at and they were good at, and they were generally good athletes. Like, I never saw a terrible athlete in the NFL, but I did see terrible players in the NFL who I was just like, you don't even understand football. You don't understand football. How did you make it? Oh, you look like you understand football. That's why.
It's so weird because there's players like Reed Doughty, right? Like he was a defensive back for Washington, and sometimes he would just get burnt on plays and just get torched and made to look like a fool. And then he would have these plays where he just made incredible plays, and then he'd be like, "Oh, I get it. I see why you're in the NFL. I see why a scout said this guy needs to be in the NFL." But I guess there's so many idiosyncrasies and so many little things that are the difference between Reed Doughty and say Earl Thomas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like just, I don't know. It's
like a Jamarcus Russell. Like a Jamarcus Russell is like, he's the antithesis of a player who should be great in the NFL, but everything that you look at says NFL great, NFL legend, and the moment that he gets under center and takes the ball, I mean, you really still think NFL legend, but then you go into a locker room with him, and there you see why he shouldn't be in the NFL. He had no desire to be in the NFL. He just wanted the money from it. That's it.
Yeah.
He didn't give a shit about playing in the NFL.
That's the other thing that we don't get as fans is how could someone not love the game like us, right? Someone be blessed with all that talent.
When you play it for years, you get yelled at by coaches every single day. Deal with 3-a-days, maybe 2-a-days, colleges, that grind, and then you go through it. You finally go to the NFL level. It's like, okay, I mean, I'll get my money, and then you just stop caring. There are people that are like that.
Part of that is true. I think that more so, guys who have always been lazy and have been allowed to be lazy and have been allowed to do what they want on college teams and have been allowed to do, operate in their own kind of space. When you get to the NFL, the one thing that will bury their career the quickest is the laziness with the addition of time and money. Free time and money for a lazy person will ruin their NFL career.
Yeah, it'll ruin anything.
Because you have the free time to do. You have more free time than you ever had as a college player. More free time than you'll ever nobody who works a job has the kind of free time you're going to have as an NFL player.
Really? So you have more free time as an NFL player than in college because you don't have class, right? But so the meetings and everything are done by what, 2:00 or some shit?
Like, well, you're out okay. So some teams and we kind of started moving this way in Jacksonville. My last 2 or 3 years in Jacksonville, is some team like we used to hear about in Jacksonville. We would hear about how Tennessee is done and out the door, like done for the day at 3 p.m. So we were like, huh?
What?
Can we get that? Can we get that? And at a point, we were going. There was a point when we were. I mean, I think this was 2010 or 2011. We were up. We were on like a 5-game win streak, and top of the division. And our practice schedule shifted going into the second half of the season to where we would be done. We would not do walk. We would do walkthrough and practice at the very same time. So we would do our walkthrough, which is 40 minutes, then do practice. We wouldn't have lunch. We do walkthrough practice, or we'd have lunch in our meetings. So we'd grab food out the cafeteria, go in our meeting rooms. We go lunch, or we go walk through practice, done. No meetings after practice. Like normally we'd have 30, 40 minutes or so of meetings after practice with our positions. So we'd be done by 3:30, 4 o'clock. I mean, shit. I'm driving to the crib, passing the beach. Like, did it?
Right.
Like,
and you're a millionaire.
And you're a millionaire. You do whatever you want.
Right.
Tell you not to do something.
And all your friends are rich too. And they're like, hey, what do you want to do? And they're like,
you know what I mean?
A boat, alcohol. I could find a way to get into a ton of trouble if I were you.
Oh, dude.
I think we all would, man.
Yeah. I found plenty. I found plenty of ways to get in trouble.
And you can always pass off as like, hey, I'm a Jacksonville Jaguar. I don't give a shit.
Oh, right. Man. What? I got pulled over by a cop one time, dude. And full disclosure, I was definitely drunk. And I was just like, I was going home, though. I was going home.
Right. And you were probably being as conservative as possible, right?
You know, and I pull over and cop comes up to the window. He's like, where you heading tonight? I said, shit, I'm going to Walmart to get my girlfriend some medicine. I got fucking diamond chain on. Fucking, I don't know why I came up with this as my excuse. I said, oh, man, officer, I'm going to the Walmart down there to get my girl some medicine. She's not feeling good tonight. Let me see your ID. So I give him my ID, goes back to the car, comes back. Said, you one of our Jaguars? I said, yeah. He said, man, I'm from Texas too. I didn't know you were from Texas. I said, oh, yeah, from Texas. Reach back behind the passenger seat, grab one of my fucking practice hats, grab a fucking Sharpie out of my bag, scribble my fucking name on the hat. Hey, officer, appreciate what you do so much. Here's a hat give it to your kids. He's like, I sure will do, buddy. And boom, I'm free to go. Swerving down the fucking road. Sweating and shit. You know, I made it. Thank you.
Yeah, that could have cost you big time if he was like, hey, can we step out the car here? And
that was my rookie year.
You'd have been on ESPN. Uche and Nwaneri arrested for DUI.
Wow.
Yeah.
You might have got cut from there.
Oh, yeah.
So there's this guy, Jeff Smoker. Have you heard of him?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Top college high school football prospect in a while.
So, and I've heard this from a third party, but apparently he had made it as a backup, and there was a coach that didn't like him from the previous team, and one day he got a little drunk and got some balls on him, called that coach up and just basically talked shit to him and was like, you said I would never make it. You said I was terrible. Look, this is my second, third year in the NFL, like I'm doing it. And I think that, you were wrong. Guess who was hired as the QB coach?
Oh, the next fucking week. Oh, shit.
Jeez.
And Jeff Smoker never played in the NFL again. And then he got caught for weed or something like that. I mean, but he almost made it. He almost made the pension. Almost got there. Man,
Jeff Smoker getting caught for weed.
That's got to be a big deal, man, to try to make it those 4 years. Because that's a tough go.
I'll tell you what, if you're not a drafted player, if you're not a player who's in the core members of the team, which means, you're not a guy who's on every special teams, because usually special teams unit is everybody on special teams units are core members, because all the same guys are on every single unit. So outside of those guys and your starters on offense and defense, you're looking at probably about 15 guys who are kind of fighting for those extra pieces. Now I've seen it happen with teams where a guy has got 2 games under his belt on the season, and you got to get one more to get that credited season. I've seen guys get put back on the practice squad before they get that 3rd game, and that's so fucked to me. I'm like, yo,
they don't want to pay them out
because then they got to pay them more money. Mm-hmm. Now they have to pay them a minimum, and they don't necessarily want that guy. I mean, they may want to keep the player, but they don't want him to get seen on film. Where if some guys come off practice squad and you're like, this guy's going to stay on active, and if they won't put them on the field and they'll keep them from getting the credited season, because once those guys get rotated and you see them on film, there might be another team who tries to come and snatch them.
Yep.
They don't want that. They're trying to hide a guy and fuck his money at the same time while they do it. Yep. And teams will do it, dude. I've seen them do
I can see it.
I've seen teams keep guys from getting $1 million bonuses from getting one more sack in the game. That happened to Bobby McCray in Jacksonville when we played against Pittsburgh in 2007. Yeah, when we beat them when we went to Pittsburgh and smashed them in the regular season. Bobby McCray had 2 sacks, I think, or 3 sacks on Roethlisberger in the first half. And if he got one more sack, he was getting $2 million the next day.
Damn.
Nice.
They yanked him at the end of the first half. They yanked him. He didn't play another down the rest of the game. And we got like 3 more sacks, or we got like another 1 or 2.
So his backup got it, because whoever was the right tackle was having a rough
one. They got more sacks on him. Bobby was on the sideline, fucking ready to fight. He knew what was on the line too, and it wasn't even a call that the coaches made. The GM said pull him.
What?
Coaches didn't even go there with it. They didn't even know. They didn't know he had it in his contract.
Damn, the GM has that much power.
Yeah. He's probably getting the orders from upstairs.
Yep.
I don't want to pay that $2 million.
Well, the GM, he doesn't watch the game looking at charts and like Andy Reid with the.
He got motherfuckers' contracts next to the
He got spreadsheets up and alerts that say player X is approaching incentive dollars. Please, call down.
Appropriate measures must be taken.
Yeah,
they snatch a cat right off the field. I've seen it happen plenty of times. So who do we think is winning this game, man? I mean, Super Bowls aren't easy to call.
Hold on, I gotta take off my sweat. It's getting hot in here.
You're getting hot. Huh?
Save it for your OnlyFans 5.
Now, man, we gotta look. I'm in my fucking pajamas and shit.
Fucking OnlyFans, dude. Shit.
OnlyFans.
Tree, I'll let you go first with your.
You're gonna be showing more than models. Fucking asshole. Love you. But personally, there is no God. Everyone hates us. That's why we have the Super Bowl. That's why Tampa Bay's winning.
Oh, fuck. You said it.
Tom Brady is going to just kill us all, and Antonio Brown will release another rap track in which we will all cringe repeatedly.
Oh, real quick. Formerly Rodline, another 299 says 299. Appreciate that. He says Brady is the human Notre Dame. Love to hate him.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm actually obligated to hate Notre Dame because of the university I went to college at. They're actually our rival. We don't have the trophy right now, but they have the trophy. Fuck them, Notre Dame. Shit, you really think the Bucks beat?
I think it's just because, I think it'll be close.
The football gods just say no, huh?
Yeah,
show no mercy.
Oh yeah,
show none.
Football gods don't care about happiness. Football gods only care about torture.
Football gods only care about sacrificial lambs.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's not a great matchup. Like, there's no underdog for America to get behind here. No one will ever, even though it's been how many years since Tampa last won the Super Bowl, because it's Brady, no one's like getting behind them.
Kansas City had their feel-good moment last year.
Yeah, it's not Jameis Winston in the Super Bowl, after redeeming a 30-for-30 season. But it's hard to root for a team that's going to win their second, possibly win their second consecutive Super Bowl. But I just love Pat Mahomes. To me, is the Steph Curry of football. Like, he's
absolutely.
No matter how many times he wins, it's still it's like entertaining. Like, I wanted Steph Curry to win more championships just because I love his game. I just love the way Steph Curry plays basketball. And that, to me, is why not only my heart, but my head is behind the Kansas City Chiefs, because they're just playing such good football. I think they'll be able to overcome whatever bullshit that Tampa Bay tries to throw at them. And I think Andy Reid, he got over being full Reid. And I think he wants another one. And I think it's very easy to do it twice once you've done it once. And
once you pop that cherry.
Yep.
Mhm.
You
And
want
I
more.
think it's going to happen unless they try throwing the ball on the 1 yard line instead of giving it to Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Wow.
That I think Casey, I think Tyreek Hill is going to be a lot to deal with. I just think and Kelsey is a big time X factor. Too many weapons. They just went out and embarrassed one of the hottest teams in the NFL.
Mhm.
They teabagged them. So and Tampa Bay had the easiest route to the Super Bowl probably anyone's ever had. They remind me of those 2000 Giants that just kind of ended up in the Super Bowl. Like, what are we doing here? Like, and they got fucking ran over. I think Kansas City not only wins, but wins convincingly. So my pick is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, I like that one. Before I go on, before I predict myself, quick super chat, $5 super chat here from Butter Biscuit 92, one of my trench master level members. Says, Uche, I made a few videos. Feel free to look and criticize in your spare time. Low, I will. You know I'll criticize too. No, appreciate that, Butter Biscuit.
I just want to say one thing before you give your prediction. It is very difficult for even us as YouTubers to get honest, constructive criticism. How many times, Uche, have you had someone just honestly that you respect their opinion of honestly critique your channel and just be like, you should do this, you should, or I like how you did this, I like how you did that. It's very rare. We all kind of operate on our own islands, and that's why I think so many people struggle in that beginning, because they don't, number one, have someone to give them honest feedback. They don't know what's qualified advice, and they also a lot of times just don't apply it either.
True.
Well, the question is, you have to actively seek it. If you don't actually take it, then
YouTube is the hardest thing I've done, and it's the hardest thing to learn because there's so many skills involved that you're basically doing 10 jobs at once.
Mm-hmm.
It's very difficult. So anybody that's starting a new channel, the best way to learn on YouTube is not only to get constructive feedback, but also just do it over and over.
Exactly.
Again.
Yeah. And watch a lot of other people's video. People like when you're in a space and you want to have an audience, because a certain kind of audience, you need to watch a lot of other channels that are kind of reaching out to that same audience. That's what I did. I mean, I was already watching Tree, and from Tree I went into 5 Points because I started seeing, I started getting recommendations there.
Mm-hmm.
So I would watch, these guys' stuff over and over and over, just kind of noting little things they did. I'd go watch some Joe Rogan, see what he did in some of his. I'd go watch different elements of production, and just kind of pay attention to the little details that I like when I watch videos, and try and kind of bring those into mind. Now, one thing that I mean, making a video and editing a video is the hardest, fucking longest, most time-consuming bullshit.
Editing is it's very monotonous.
Yeah. It's so monotonous. And I've made videos that I swear to God, these videos were fucking Hollywood production.
Mm-hmm.
I know how to use these apps. I'm very savvy with Premiere, with Photoshop, with Illustrator, all those things. I know how to use them. So I use them, and I'm like, oh, this video is easy, 100,000 views. Bing! I dropped that shit. I ain't getting nothing from
1,000. Yeah, that's
YouTube is like YouTube's weird, man. I mean, sometimes you think you make like a big video, it gets nothing, and then the one you do like nothing on, it's like only a couple minutes. Like the NHL ones I did, like I put more time into that, only 150K. Random vid I did on the fucking Saints gets 350. I'm like, really? Come on.
Well, the audience is so fickle, and they love you for certain things, and they don't understand others. So like that's why this winter I've just done a lot of NFL content, and I've shied away from the NHL because I'm like you, man. I don't want to put a fucking ton of effort into.
Well, the thing is, like, I like doing hockey, so that's why I do it. I don't do it for views, but like football's king.
Right.
I mean, let's be real.
But I love hockey too. I love it deeply I love it like it's like cake or something, I just love it's like one of those guilty pleasures, and it's hard to do these topic. Like I sometimes I feel like I should branch out and like just create more channels, because what's the quote? I'd rather be an expert in something than it be irrelevant in everything, something like that.
You better be a master of one than not. Rather be I forget how the fuck he goes. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. It's like I'd rather be an expert in something than known for nothing. So I am starting a second channel though, like one where I'm gonna take the more esoteric topics and put them over there. But now we're totally hijacking your
dude, we rant on. I don't care. Plug your shit. I don't care, dude.
I want to hear about this Super Bowl prediction though.
Well, just for me and at the end of the day, I think that most people, when you look at the situation, when you look at the game itself, people are going to look at Brady versus Mahomes. They're going to look at, the big stars, the big names, but it always comes down to how are the two offensive lines going to play. And one of the things that I criticized the Bucs for early in the season was how dog shit terrible their offensive line was playing. Donovan Smith being the number one reason why the offensive line was struggling early in the season. I look at that. I paid a lot of attention to that offensive line against Green Bay, and they were pretty stout in protecting Tom Brady. They gave him enough time to stand in the pocket and go through one or two reads before he actually had to get the ball off. There was one scenario where the protection was going the wrong way. It was one of the picks that he threw. Protection went the wrong way. Guy came free off the edge. Running back Leonard Fournette had to actually wheel back under Tom Brady to get to the edge. Was not going to happen. And Brady just threw it up. Like he looked, and he looked like he just threw it up. He didn't even look like he had an idea where that ball was going when he threw it. Yeah. He just did not want to get hit like that. Uh-huh. And that was probably the one time in this entire playoff run that I saw Tom Brady under actual true duress for Tom Brady. Mm-hmm. Tom Brady's used to stepping up in the pocket and throwing the ball. He's used to kind of shimmying, sidestepping a defender who's trying to get off a block to throw the ball. Those aren't things that pressure him. Maybe on TV they'll say it's pressure, but it's really not pressure for Tom Brady. He does that a million times. I think that the only way, the most certain way to beat the Buccaneers for the Chiefs will have to be pressure on Tom Brady, like true pressure, meaning you're beating their offensive linemen with first moves and you're having free runs at Tom Brady. If you go back and watch the game against the Saints, first game of the season, that's all you saw. You saw Cam Jordan win the first move on Donovan Smith and have a free run at Tom Brady, and it was over. Or Tom Brady would just like fuck off and throw it into the ground. Like he was not having it. And Tom Brady was pissed because he was getting hammered. I think that when you look at what the Chiefs have done with their defensive pressures, when you look at how they have been successful at it their entire run in the playoffs, and they've been successful at it most of the second half of the NFL season, I personally think that if there is a team that can get pressure on him without the kind of consequences that you see other teams who can't get pressure on him have to suffer, it will be the Chiefs. The Chiefs can get that done. That will be their ace in the hole. That should be their number one directive because almost to a fault, the Kansas City Chiefs don't necessarily need to play great defense. They just need to get to the quarterback and make him make mistakes. They don't have to be in great coverages. They don't have to have lockdowns on both sides of the field. They just need to do enough to not give up. They just need to do enough to get pressure. If they give up points, it don't matter. They can give up a touchdown every drive in the first half. That doesn't mean anything to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Right.
That doesn't mean nothing.
No.
So if I'm the defense coordinator for the Chiefs, I'm not overly concerned with stopping any of the receivers for the Bucs. I'm not overly concerned with, taking away something that they're going to get, which is a big play here and there. They're going to get that. My number one concern is, how do we break their offensive line? How do we break their offensive line so that they don't know where we're coming from and they're not really and they're not up to snuff to stop us when we bring pressure? They're not a technically sound offensive line by any stretch of the imagination. and in my book, one of the worst. But in the playoffs that I've seen thus far, they've stayed in the way of their defenders, or their defenders just haven't been versatile enough to penetrate their offensive line consistently. The Chiefs have a chance to do that because they have Pro Bowl D linemen, Pro Bowl linebackers, Pro Bowl secondary. They should be able to there should be one key player from each one of those levels who can break the offensive line of the Bucs. And that's how you beat the Buccaneers. That's how you beat Tom Brady. You're not going to beat his 9 route if you're one-on-one with Mike Evans. That's a go. That's a gimme for them. They get that all day. Mm-hmm. You're not going to beat. That's not what you're trying to win against. You're trying to win against his drop back to his plant to throw. His drop back and him being comfortable to step up and throw. That's what you're trying to beat. If you beat that, then you beat them soundly, I think. Yep. So I'm going, and I think the Chiefs have shown they can do it. So I picked them to win the game.
Rams did that really well against the Bucs. Like, they made his life a living hell.
You've got to make him take his eyes off of his receivers downfield. Or after his first read, he should be looking at somebody coming off the edge or trying to escape. If you can do that to him consistently, then I think Kansas City could blow them out if they do that. They could blow them out.
You got to make him look like a 43-year-old.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, he kind of looked like a 43-year-old in spurts against Green Bay.
Yeah. I mean, threw 3 picks, just but they didn't do it all game. They only did it during those selective portions, and they didn't take advantage. I think the Chiefs, if they get 3 picks, blowout, because they're marching down the field. No one stopped.
If the Chiefs get 3 picks. The Chiefs offense is such fucking OP. They can average 4 to 5 plays to score a touchdown from anywhere on the field.
And they were inconsistent most of the year, and they still scored at will.
Yeah. And
now, one thing I do want to ask y'all. Oh, go ahead.
A lot of people are like, they're not clicking. They're not ready. They're not, they're not looking like the team. Now they're looking like the team.
Yeah.
They had moments where they looked like the team. They played like a full 60 minutes against the Bills.
Yeah.
I mean,
their biggest threats themselves. I've always said that. But once they get past that, there aren't many teams that can stop them.
Yeah.
Now, let's not forget, last year's Super Bowl, these motherfuckers were down 10 points in the 4th.
Big catch for Tyreek Hill.
They won by like 2 scores.
Yeah. Well, that was their MO last year. They're not that team this year. They're more confident, and they're
far more.
Yeah, they're like the Broncos in that in 1998. They're just like, we got this. We got this.
I mean, I don't think that I think it's even worse playing against the Chiefs than it was playing against the Patriots in their prime, in that you needed to be up at least 2 scores with under 2 minutes left in the game to be comfortable enough to think you can win that. Because, I mean, look, we all saw what happened, 28-3. Would any other NFL team come back from that to win the game in those scenarios? 95% of them, 99% would lose. I mean, every year you watch the Patriots in those years, it was like you have to be up like a lot of points. And you have to have very little time left to actually be comfortable in beating them. The Chiefs are the same way. The Chiefs are that good on offense and that lightning fast on offense that they only need a minute and a half of game clock time if they're really pushing it to score against you. They only need a minute and a half to get a touchdown.
Yeah, they're crazy. Yeah, that's any DC's nightmare is we've got to lead and we've got to stop the Chiefs in the next minute and a half.
Like, it doesn't even matter if you're winning the whole game. You could be winning for 3.5 quarters by 10 points without the lead getting any smaller than 10 points. And the chances are you're probably still going to lose. I would bet my money on them you're going to lose. But I think that a good question that comes out of this, especially, and I mean, I think there are some reports out about what's going on, but let's kind of bring this thing full circle to bring the podcast to its end. What is the situation? What does this situation right now do for a guy like Eric Bieniemy, who is looking for a head coaching job? They're talking about the Houston Texans are looking to have a second interview with him. He's the guy who's gone back-to-back Super Bowls now. And I mean, you got to believe that as the architect of the offense, even without being the play caller, there is a lot of his style has been included into the philosophy of their offense. So, I mean, first off, we all know that it's pretty much a travesty that he doesn't have a head coach, that he wasn't one of the top picks for head coach.
Yeah, I think the problem that worked against him is he's still coaching, right? So his priority is
they can't hire him yet.
Second Super Bowl. But he has been free to be interviewed. But other teams want to hire somebody and get them started. It's really, I think it's going to be up to him to choose the Texans versus the other way around. Whether
I think the Texans are kind of getting their arm twisted, but it might be too late to even.
Yeah, I don't even touch out. That shit.
I think Deshaun's I think he's gone.
Yeah, and the enemy could be very well inheriting a team that's losing its star quarterback, but he could use this situation to leverage a really high salary. And be like, hey, you want me? You're gonna have to pay me the dollars. That's a good sign, though, that the Texans' job is still open for Eric Bieniemy. I hope in the ideal situation is that not only does he get hired by the Texans, but he gets paid well, fairly for his services. He seems to be the best candidate, and somehow, he's able to repair their situation with Watson. But if he doesn't get hired by the Texans, that's going to be egg on the entire league.
Oh, dude, imagine if they hired Josh McDaniels.
Yeah, it's very plausible that Goodell.
And the sad part is I can see it happening.
Texans ear and just says, hey.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm him. I don't know that I want to coach the Texans with.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think
they are right now.
Not.
I think they might just call the fuck off.
Right? All the good openings have left.
Now, me being a Jaguars fan, that's where I was the most irritated with who they hired, because I think there's no compare. I think from an NFL perspective, I mean, and having lived through that for a season where I had a coach who had no NFL head coach experience, and he brought in a coaching staff that had never even coached in the NFL, even though he was the coordinator in the NFL. It was a nightmare, dude. It was a nightmare that just it was one of the happy nightmares where it's like a clown that continues to fucking try to cheer you up and dance, but it's like, yo, we stop. Gus Bradley was a great energy guy, but his staff was completely incompetent. Were not incompetent, they just were ignorant. They didn't know what the fuck to do. They were terrified.
I could liken this to all right, you're a lawyer and you're in law school, and a class that you really need to pass the bar has some hot chick TA that's teaching it, and it's a fun class, but you're not learning shit.
You're not learning shit.
And you're just like, fuck. Well, I'm not gonna learn anything, but I guess it's fun to
teach hot.
Right?
It's good coming to class, even though we only get through half the chapter every class.
Right.
We're behind.
I'm going to fail the bar, and you're going to ruin my career here. But fuck it. Let's just have fun. I think Herb was just, I don't think he's a good hire.
It was just a sexy pick that the Jaguars did to fill seats. And that's where I keep trying to explain to my Jaguars fans out there. Take it from a player who was there. This is such a Jaguar move to hire Urban Meyer.
But, okay, Jaguars fans are they're in close proximity to Gainesville. They see Herb as a god.
Exactly.
It's like if Steve Spurrier or something got hired to coach the Jags, and they look at him through rose. They would love it right now if Tim Tebow tomorrow
came back and be the quarterback.
Right. If Herb and Timmy Teves were reunited, Jaguars fans would love that shit.
Honestly, I find what's worse. Their new GM's Trent Baalke. If you remember that name,
dude, that's what I was telling him. Oh my God.
Dude, did you see what happened with Jim Harbaugh? Did you see the stuff he pulled? He was a terrible drafter. He pulled power play maneuvers. He hired a patsy, a defensive line coach who had never head coached at that level in his life, and they set him up to fail. You're getting that in Jacksonville.
Right.
And so suppose things go south in 2 to 3 years. Urban Meyer may have health issues. They'll bring in a patsy to offset Trent Baalke.
He out the back door quick. My
just get a
chest.
note from his doctor that says, "Herb, you're not allowed to coach anymore." And he just,
You think college is stressful? Just wait till the NFL, man. High stress.
That's what I was telling people. Like, this guy is going into he's coming up into a league that he's been out of coaching how many years now?
Shit, like
long
5?
time, man.
Like 5 years, he's not even been coaching. It would be hard pressed for him to come back to the college level and deal with the stresses that are gonna find him on that level.
Wait, it's been 3, but still, I mean,
3 years away from football. Come on, no, and you're not even returning to college. You're returning to you're debuting in the NFL instead. And if you've looked at his picks, his offense coordinator was a failed offense coordinator in the NFL who got sent back to college, and now he's bringing him back up. That's not gonna. I mean, I think I can predict how that's gonna end up. Don't know who their defense coordinator is at this point, but they brought in. If they're bringing in the defense coordinator from the Atlanta Falcons and considering him to be their D coordinator, or bringing him in for an interview, that shows me that they're not even looking in the right places. You going after the Falcons D coordinator? Have you looked at the Falcons D lately? Do you know where they at? Because I don't.
I guess their biggest challenge is you're going to get Trevor Lawrence. Better keep him upright and not pull a Joe Burrow on his ass. He is going to be a special player, and it might make sense. Maybe have Herb develop him for 2 years and then fake a heart attack. I don't know.
Or they do something stupid and draft Justin Fields.
He is going to be.
Oh, if they draft anybody other than Trevor Lawrence, then that franchise might as well move to another city. It's going to be over. The years that are going to be filled with so much misery, so much utter pain. And you know what we're going to see? We're going to be watching Trevor Lawrence play, maybe at the Houston Texans or some shit, going into the AFC title game. Maybe he'll be playing, for some other team like they did with Russell Wilson. I remember when we had a chance to draft Russell Wilson and we chose not to. We took a punter. Yep. That's the Jacksonville kind of shit we do.
But his name was Anger. Come on, man.
Ryan Anger. Hey, man, he was a cool dude. His
name's Anger. That's the ultimate football name.
That motherfucker used to put like 70-yard punts in pregame. I would watch him like, Jesus Christ. Like the ball would go all the way from the 20 to the other end zone. I'm like, still not worth a 3rd-round pick, but shit.
It's not his fault he got drafted in
the Giants, remember they drafted Matt Dodge, I think, with a 6th-round pick, and he ended up getting cut the next year because he couldn't punt out of bounds.
Was drafted a long snapper in the 6th round. He didn't even make it past training camp.
Was he the one that punted to Deshaun Jackson?
Why'd you have to bring that up?
Yeah.
I remember them interviewing him, and he punted it, and he knew he was told to punt it out of bounds. And as soon as it left his foot, he's like, "That's not going to happen."
Immediately. He said,
right. He knew he fucked up, and he's never
tackled that
again. I feel bad for the kid, but
not. He never played again?
No, he never. After that year, he was cut, and he never got a gig again.
Oh, that's called blackball.
There's some guys that just get cut. It's amazing how there's some guys that were like number 1 or number 2 option. Like Ruben Randall was the number 2 receiver for the Giants. And after the year that they cut him, he never played a down again in the NFL just because he got this reputation of a guy that sat on and quit on routes. And he was talented. It just sucks. But anyways,
once they give you a reputation, that's it. That's who you are to a lot of people. So, unfortunate, but that's kind of the way of the beast in the NFL. But that's going to be it for this Lineman Life Live. Appreciate you guys very much for being on here. 5 Points, Vids, Urinating Tree, 2 guys that I really look up to in this YouTube verse. I really appreciate you guys coming on. Make sure you smash and annihilate that like button if you haven't already done so. This is your first time on the stream, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to the Observant Lineman Uche Nwaneri. I think we got through all of the we got through all the super chats. Should be good. Should be a good game. I'm gonna try and live stream it, maybe. Live stream my watch along. Obviously, you can't fucking put a single 3-second image of an NFL game up or they gonna snatch your channel.
Yeah,
for like,
I mean, the highlights, but with me, like, I mean,
Chisel's dealing with that shit right now. They're not just snatching them, they're blocking them. I'm
yeah,
like,
that's
oh
what I mean.
my
I
God.
don't get it. Like, I do like football footage, and I don't get blocked. I get my money like claimed, but like the games themselves, I'm like, dude, come on.
Oh man, yeah, they go out. You know what's funny? I will never forget this. When I first started my YouTube channel, I actually called the NFL PA, and then I called the NFL, and I was like, "Hey, I'm just a former player trying to see about an opportunity to get approved for rights to use some footage on my channel's videos. What do you guys think?" Like, oh, sir, absolutely. Fill out this application for us, and we'll have a response to you in 24 to 48 hours. So I fill out this shit. I like put my whole like fucking NFL player profile on there, like make sure they know this is a former player. Just want to use clips. Don't want to like. I don't need the games. I just want to use clips.
Right. I'm not rebroadcasting.
Oh yeah.
Those motherfuckers sent me that damn response back within like 40 minutes. No. No, I was like, jeez.
Yeah, that would happen to any of us too.
40 minutes before they hit send. They're like,
so yes, please tell us anything.
Oh, you're a player.
Wants to use our clips.
They just used your recommendation as like a poster slam dunk.
Yeah, they dunked all over me with that shit. They said, nope. Decline.
Well, we got to do this again.
Yeah.
So, hey, man, anytime you guys want, you already know. You already know.
Absolutely.
But yeah, everybody, we will talk to y'all on the next stream. Make sure y'all have a good evening. Stay safe out there, and we will catch you on the next one.
Peace out.
Peace.